This is Xbox Series X 1 year later, reflecting back on the Xbox console. Or, well, actually, it's been a little over a year. So I was able to review the Xbox Series X in the backdrop or whatever, or, well, I guess the primary thing you're seeing is basically me with the Series X unboxing it at the current moment in time. And I was trying to think, what is the best way to, like, really do a 1 year reflection on the console than to show some clips and I don't know, maybe go around the dashboard and whatnot and talk about it. So liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well. And I hope you guys have enjoyed really over a year at this point of time with the Series X. So I got it around late October it arrived and I was able to start playing around with it, seeing what it was like, seeing what it had to offer. And it was very interesting because there was like very few games that were like Series X optimized at the time. I think it was like Gears 5 and like Dirt were like my two games that were like optimized. And I was beginning to start like and not every game was like backwards compatible yet. I know that's shocking, right? Like all of them are right now that are backwards compatible. But for me, it was like they were like trickling them in, and that was really, really neat. But it's been like a really good year with the Series X in there. It's like you can see the console. It's like power your dreams. But it's been phenomenal, and I've played like a lot of games. I mean, if you've been seeing the videos, I was doing like 4 videos a day. Then I was doing like a live stream and 2 videos a day, and I've played like most of the library that is presently available on Xbox, like on the Series X. So I think I've maybe tried more games than anyone else. I think of it games running on the Series X. So I mean I'd love to know if somebody has played more than I have. That would be cool. But I've literally tried like almost like everything. I would say there's games I haven't done yet, and I'll get to them eventually. But I've done quite a few. Yeah, and it's been a really great year. Like the console. Just in terms of like performance and stuff, I've kind of been blown away by it. I wasn't expecting 120 FPS games. We're getting a lot of those, quite a lot of those. I wasn't expecting, just so much for Game Pass growth. I wasn't expecting so much for new experiences. And Xbox actually had like a really, really great year. You think about it, a little bit slow out of the gate, obviously, but once it got kicking, we had things like basically Forza Horizon 5. We had Halo Infinite. We had Psychonauts 2, Age of Empires 4, which, while not console, is, Xbox first party, and it's like a new Age of Empires game. Wow. Seriously, and it's great. It was really, really good. And, we had Flight Sim come to console, which is an amazing experience. We had, like, it was a really good latter half of the year, and we had this great hardware, this great console. I've thoroughly loved it and enjoyed it and had fun with it. I mean, I've been playing, so many games with it, reviewing new games, the big titles like Call of Duty Vanguard, Battlefield 2042. I've been doing different titles, Guardians of the Galaxy, It Takes Two, like the Medium, which came out earlier in the year, which was exclusive for a time. It was really cool seeing all these different games, whether they were like more indie titles or more like huge caliber games. It was a lot of fun diving in there and taking a look at the legacy library, but also playing new experiences. And I think it's going to be a really exciting generation. I haven't been this excited about, Xbox gaming since like the 360 era, really. And it's really cool to see where they're going with this and what they're going to do with it over in the future, because we got so many games on the horizon that are just going to be like, like Starfield, I think it's like Redfall. We've got Forza Motorsport that's coming, and not to mention all these other titles in the far future. I'm thinking more like 2022 is like some games I was trying to like label off there, but yeah, and it's just been a really good year. Like the console itself, I haven't really had any issues with it. I've never even heard the thing like the fans ever go. It's just like some older consoles you'd be like you'd be hearing a console fan going like crazy, but for the Series X, it's just been like absolutely silent. It's just sat there, really just been working perfectly. I don't really have too many issues with it in any way that I could really be like, hey, this is like a big problem or anything. It just seems to run really well. It seems to give good performance. The VRR support has been phenomenal in regards to making sure everything's running good. We've had some really stellar games, some great experiences. I've had a lot of fun with the console over the last year. It's really, really been just a great time. And how far are we into this? You see me just like unboxing the Series X there. That's so cool. Yeah, it's just been, like again, powering your dreams. I've already had such a great time with it. Like I didn't think I would be playing so many older titles. So I do think that there is room for like more, only next gen experiences. But they've done quite a bit with this. Like I said, Game Pass has been just growing and growing with new titles and experiences and day one games, and that's kind of nuts. Then we've got the Xbox Cloud Gaming, where you can literally like through the Series X right now, you can play a game without downloading it, and that's really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to change over time. And it's just it's kind of wild. I do think there's room for them to improve the Xbox DVR system, but outside of that, it's I'm hard pressed to really find things that I have issues with, in regards to the console. I do think, we'll probably see some sort of controller upgrade, I would imagine, as they did play it safe, but the Series X controller is just fantastic. I guess I could show off my like custom stealth controller that you could just see through, because I got a customized one at one point, but like, the controller itself really really great. I do wish it was quieter though. That's one thing I've noticed over the last year is it's clunky in regards to the sounds, but like the console itself has just been running. It's been performing. It's been delivering even beyond really my expectations in regards to what it's supposed to be doing. Like really, it's just been a great experience. And from like the moment I opened it to now, it's just kind of sitting there ready to go, kicking hard. Like I said, it's been like again, I got it like late October, and we're basically it's Christmas, hence the Christmas hat and everything like that. But it's been such a wonderful time. I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing where things are headed, and what we're going to be able to experience over the next few years or so as this console continues to get new titles, new exclusives, and new features, as it's already grown quite a bit. They did play it fairly tame in regards to the dashboard. Like the dashboard hasn't really changed much. But then again, does it really need to? That's a good question. It seems to functionally work quite well. There are some store things here or there that they could change, but I mean, that's not really the console, right? That's more of the software side of things. And hopefully that's an area that Microsoft looks at in the future and enhances and upgrades in many ways, because that would be fantastic. But yeah, the console itself, like as you can see, having a great time unboxing it. Like I honestly can't believe it's been over a year. Like, time just absolutely flies by. But I would have to say, I'd hold pretty true and strong to the review that I originally put together a year ago at this point. And it's great. It's a great console. It gets the job done. If you can find one, you'll have a lot of fun with it. You'll enjoy the power of, again, VRR, like I mentioned, variable refresh rate is fantastic. We've gotten ray tracing, which I didn't think we'd see so much of. It's still trickling in, but we're seeing more and more of it, which is really cool. 120 FPS action. We've even got Dolby Vision has been added on top of like auto HDR. We got new backwards compatible games. We got FPS boosted games, which improve the frame rate of our old favorites, and the results of that have been just stellar. There's all these like legacy improvements, and then on top of that, there's new games coming. Now, again, as I mentioned prior, you kind of look at it where it's like, hey, I've been playing a lot of older titles, which is actually, I guess, a bit of a good thing, because if this was any other time, where we didn't have backwards compatibility, we would just be playing like a few new games and we wouldn't have so many experiences that we could do. But I've really been able to fill my time by going back and exploring the old games I love, but in new ways, and seeing them better than they've ever been, more enhanced, upgraded, improved, and it's just really, really been quite an exciting time of nostalgia, but also seeing some of those new games come in and seeing what this console can do. And I feel like we're only, again, reaching the start of this generation, the start of what this console will eventually be able to deliver to us. And it'll be neat to see whether we get like some mid-gen refresh, or if this is like the console of the generation for Xbox high tier wise. I actually just got the Series S, so it's going to be really fun to see how those two kind of match up over time. That'll be a lot of fun. But it's been a great time. Reviewing it before launch, and then having it this last year to play games with has been a remarkable and exciting experience. I think it has gotten the job done. In terms of allowing me to be able to play, record, live stream, and just really put this thing through the tests. Like it runs basically nonstop the whole time, which is kind of cool. Now, when it comes to storage, that in itself has been a bit of an issue. So there's that one. So I think we do need to switch over to, I'm actually putting my review of the Series X kind of up there now. So you can see that when I was actually reviewing it. But yeah, like I think this thing storage wise, we're talking about that. That's definitely been an issue. I even have the 1 terabyte Seagate expansion. Separate review of that up on the channel as well if you need that. But yeah, so I've got like just under 2 terabytes of the next gen storage, and I review like a lot of games, and I think I have something like I can see it right now on my screen. I got 154 next gen titles, and it's just like installed. Not to mention like ones I've had to like I guess like delete and or move away. But it's like it's that's going to be a real problem I think over time is the next gen storage because it is still quite costly to get upgrades. There's like a 2 terabyte I believe that's going to be available and stuff, but I hope that there is more solution options for storage because that's a nightmare. I mean the cloud gaming in the future will help with that, but right now it's kind of like we're in this weird spot where we shifted to this great fast storage, but it's like really causing some problems for me in regards to having my games installed. Like I have more games installed than the average person because I'm doing streams, I'm doing videos, and I'm downloading lots of new games and they take up space. I do think once we leave last gen behind entirely, like Xbox One era, we will start to see smaller sizes, and we've already seen that for some games, smaller sizes. But it's just like I'm really hoping we move a little bit quicker, or we find something to do better for storage, because that is probably my biggest issue that I come across on a day-to-day basis is like storage problems. Now, moving past that, I have been so surprised by how many older games have been given like next gen like optimizations and stuff. Like it's just been really surprising to see some older games that you wouldn't necessarily think would get that sort of thing getting that sort of upgrade, and I think that is quite cool. I'm very happy about that. So many like little surprise titles like sneaking in, being like, "Oh, I didn't think they would optimize that." And it's cool that we're finally starting to preserve the legacy of our gaming libraries moving forward. I think that's really really exciting, and I think they've done a really really good job of that one. And it's just been fun playing games and seeing all the opportunities and stuff that have arisen over the last year covering the Series X. It's been a real treat and a real pleasure. And there's just me again going off and showcasing stuff or talking about the Series X controller right now. That's kind of funny. And again, it's like it's been a year. I feel I don't know. I don't feel like older, but it's just like crazy how much time flies when you're like playing games and enjoying stuff and just spending countless hours reviewing and working and streaming. It's kind of crazy. It definitely is. So let's switch over from this media thing here. We've got sorry, the media source too. So we're just gonna pause that, and we're gonna kind of plop open the Xbox dashboard. So like as you can see, I filtered so the Series X optimized games, so you can see all that kind of going off there. But like I've played so many of these and I've done so many videos, and there's more to come. Obviously, it's something I'm still working on, and it's just kind of like it's super cool seeing so many games getting support and stuff like that, and seeing what they have to offer. And I kind of wanted to maybe talk a bit about some of my favorite next gen experiences. But the console itself, again, totally running fine. It's clean, it's subtle, it sits there in the backdrop when I watch movies at night. It doesn't take out from the experience. It's like it's not glowing or anything. It's just sitting there being a good console. I think that's really, really good and really cool. And if you haven't done the thing where you look over the top of the fans, definitely do that, because it's got like this green effect to it. That's really, 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 really cool. And yeah, so I think I've gone over most of my big things on that one and talked about stuff. I'd say the biggest takeaway is that it runs perfectly fine, and I haven't had any issues that would really stand out to me as being a critical problem in the first year. So no fire, no smoke. It's running well. So let's take a look at the Series X optimized experiences. So Control is obviously a great game, and you can, because it's just double checking here to make sure I'm not taking up like that part of it. But it's like Control. It is a phenomenal experience. The Ultimate Edition, the ray tracing and effects there, really, really cool. Desperados 3 is actually something that would, I think, surprise quite a lot of people in terms of what it provides gameplay-wise. That's really, really good. Crash Bandicoot 4, it was nice to get that one optimized. Although I think it had stutters when it came out, so hopefully they fix that one up. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the next-gen version of that one's pretty sick, doing 120 FPS. Immortals Phoenix Rising, that's a good optimization too. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I was very happy to see that one get optimized, because it was FPS boosted and then they optimized that one, so that was a bit strange. Same with Sniper Elite 4, that one was FPS boosted and then they optimized it, and that's an old game. That's one of those ones where I was talking about. I was like, weird how some of these got optimized. Oh, and then we got Judgment and Lost Judgment. So I got to play both of those this year for the first time. They were so good, so great. The optimized Plague Tale was kind of nice. Horizon 4 was one of the early games I got to see those optimized. That was really cool. Let's see. Now this one had an uncapped frame rate, which was better on the Series X. Because some games benefit, like GTA 4 is better on Series X because it's uncapped. So this is another one of those ones because we finally have enough extra power here to really push these games further. The Medium was a really cool early kind of showcase of the Series X. I did like that one quite a bit. I also interviewed the actress, the lead on the cover there, Marianne. This is the character in the game. That was really cool. Life is Strange True Colors. That was a fun experience. Had a great time with that one. Um, I think it's really good, and I don't think enough people checked it out. It's actually pretty well done. Dirt 5, again, was one of the early next-gen experiences. I think one of the first times I experienced 120 FPS gaming. So that was kind of cool. Hitman 3, one of the best titles of the year. So good. If you see the two lines, that means it's like on an older hard drive, and I have to move it to a new one to enjoy it. They redeemed the Crisis trilogy, so that was kind of cool. Gears 5, 120 FPS action. So good. So good. Great game, too. Looks beautiful. Doom Eternal was really good, next-gen optimized. Hellblade was. Outriders was, again, one of the earlier like next-gen experiences. Guardians of the Galaxy is so good. I don't think it totally takes advantage of the Series X, but like it's a really good game. Really phenomenal. Flight Sim was like I had reviewed Flight Sim on PC, the year prior, but like playing it on the console, it was like, and especially with the uncapped option, if you got like VRR, you could go up to 120, and it's just like, what? That one might be one of the showcases of the Series X, actually. Psychonauts 2, really great. That game blew away my expectations, and I got to check it out early. That was a cool new program that they started for content creators and stuff, is to be able to check out games early. So that one I got to see a month before it came out. So that was one of my first, showcases like early, and I also got to do Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, and I'm hoping more games in the future will do that. So stay tuned for upgraded looks at games. Pumpkin Jack, that one was surprise optimization. Hot Wheels was really good. Halo the Master Chief Collection, playing 4K 120 FPS Halo MCC, is just like, every time I do it, I love it. And I always complain when I go on stream because I get bumped down to 60 FPS when I stream, but it's like doing 120 at 4K in Halo is just like my favorite games, all upgraded, all playing awesomely. I love it. Forgotten City was such a good little social game, like seriously, like trying to, it was like a mystery. It was so neat. Quake 4K 120, so cool. Grounded looks phenomenal. Sea of Thieves 120 option looks great. Rocket League got upgraded. Orcs Must Die 3, it was nice to see that one come to console. Battlefield 2042, you can have all the issues you want with that one, but the world is like so big, 128 players, like huge action. Chivalry 2 looks phenomenal, so much fun. Surgency Sandstorm I've had a good time with. That game is really cool, actually, Lego Builders. Yeah. Among Us was strangely quite a lot of fun, and I think that one runs at 4K 122, which is kind of crazy. Fortnite's got 120 FPS support. Tales of Arise was great. Next, I got FPS boosted Skyrim, and then we got optimized Skyrim, so that was great. 120 FPS of Minecraft Dungeons. We got Halo Infinite finally came out. That's got 120 FPS support. I don't think that one fully takes advantage of the next gen, in my opinion, but it's still really good. It's finally good 60 FPS in Dead by Daylight. Diablo 2 was a lot of fun. Back 4 Blood was fun, debuted on Game Pass. Fire's Team was kind of good. Came out on Game Pass. Came out on Game Pass recently. Rainbow Six Siege 4K 120. Forza Horizon 5 4K 60. Open world, gorgeous, massive, beautiful, great. The Ascent was kind of fun. That was a next-gen title. Far Cry 6 was a good time. Warhammer Vermintide was an earlier one too, I think. NHL Optimized, which was really cool to finally see. And then the Elder Scrolls Online, we've had some fun with that one. Joel's been kind of handling that. The Gunk I gotta play. I'm still working on that. But it's just like, it's been a really good thing. And I think this has been more of like a nostalgia trip than anything. But I've had a lot of fun, kind of taking a look at this and seeing what this has to offer. Oh, and the Matrix Awakens is a must-see next-gen experience for Series X. Highly suggest taking a look at that one and seeing what it has to offer. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I like deleted. Metro Exodus, really good Series X optimized. Actually, I wonder if I could filter that from like 2,000 games optimized for Series X. So there's like filtered from 931, doesn't really tell you how many though. But you can see those like all these games I had to like kind of clear out for storage and stuff like that. So like Destiny 2 here, the NBAs. There's been some really genuinely good experiences, and I've had a lot of fun with this console, and I'm really looking forward to the long term of what it has to offer, because I think it's been great. If you can get your hands on one, I highly suggest it. Games play, look better, feel better than they ever have before, and it's just been a really really good time. Like seriously, like I just, um, I absolutely love it. I've had so many good memories with it thus far. So many great times streaming, doing videos, playing. Outside of actually work, it's just been fun to play and have these games run good, look good, feel good. Be comparable to like a higher end PC experience for the first time in console, and to have something that's just silent. I don't have like really any issues that come up. It just works and it delivers, and I think that is a perfect expectation for a console in the modern era. And I think they nailed it with the Series X. And 1 year on, I'm very happy with it, and I'm more excited about the future of Xbox than I have been in a very, very long time. And I think I'm more excited about it now than I ever have been in this, what was the 20th year of Xbox, which is kind of crazy to think about as well. I'm definitely getting old. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Xbox Series X 1 year later, and I hope this was a decent way of doing so. Probably a little bit of a weird way of doing so, but I think it was kind of my way of kind of having fun and taking a look at this thing. Well, 1 year on. So I'll be back in the future as we dive into more games, more exclusives, more opportunities, and of course, maybe revisit the review of the console again at some point or something like that, or do some more comparisons because that's always fun. And there is Xbox Series X 1 year later. Be sure to like the video, subscribing's great as well.